What you've got to do is you're never going to digitize. And digitization, for whatever your motivation is, you should be doing it anyway because it's a efficiency and productivity gain throughout your organisation, whatever business you're in, at some level, right? Obviously, if you're in the craft beer business and selling to a local shop, probably not. But the key thing on digital is that what we did actually internally, 2007, was realise that in order to structure what we do, you have to have and it's not a complicated data model, but it is a data model, right? Which is architecturally understood by enough people, right? I would say we were the architects of it from a technology and product perspective, but my colleague who's the CFO was a big part of it as well, and it's meant that whilst I would be lying and there's some colleagues in my rooms who would not be able to contain themselves if I said, oh yeah, our systems are perfect, our data is fantastic, right? But what it has meant is that we have clarity of where we do have deficiency, right? And where you have good data and where you have less good. In truth, we have to have pretty good data because we're looking after stuff 24/7. So, if your customer rings up 2 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, and you pull up your CRM, you're going to the asset that they're meant to be having and it's the wrong one, you're in trouble, right? So generally speaking, the test of our data is the fact that we tend to hit our ability. So I think it's whether your systems are good, bad or indifferent, and do I echo the point about Oracle, especially Oracle. SAP we've had less experience with, but Oracle, I think the world would be a better place if we stopped buying it for a year. Just to make them maybe sit up and take notice, probably not, right? But the key thing I think is if you've got an idea in your head of how it should be structured, right, then at least as you're going along, you're going to be improving it, and it's an old engineering way of doing it. You say you're going to create an error, and the error is the thing you work on, right? And you just work it through.
Great.
I think digital helps, maybe not in the short term, but what it does is open up that data to wider scrutiny. And when CRM potentially was just viewed by the sales or marketing departments, they worked around it, and they knew about the quality or the lack of quality, but they worked around it. Oh yeah, that doesn't work, that field, we don't do that. And I think what digital does is actually bring that front and centre, and we've had an example around, I mentioned about BPM processes, where that's now become a key part of our CRM around our client take on and continuance, which is our when we roll over another year for our audit clients, and that's immediately exposed. This isn't as great as it should be, and that's not from CRM. That's from our ERP system. So what happens is focus,
and you cleanse it,
and we cleanse it, and that has been that's become I think of the sort of nirvana about sort of self-cleansing and self-healing. It's really been a big change, and that's only in the last sort of 9 months.
Sam, final point from you, because we're
I agree with you saying digital means different things in different circumstances. When clients come to me and talk about digital transformation project, digital journey, I ignore that. I say, okay, fine. You can call it what you want, orange or apple. What are you trying to achieve? What is the outcome really? Because effectively, really simplistic. You're paying a supplier X million pounds, X £100,000. What are you getting from that? If you can't answer that, you've got a problem.
Cool. Well, Sam, on that, I've got to bring the panel to a close because lunch is waiting. This is downstairs on the ground floor. So I'd like to join in thanking the panel.